Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Lightning Storm. The series of Lightning always strikes twice as we talk about everything that has happened in the past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. And honestly, a pretty eventful week. Some big things happened for Lightning Collection this past week that people have been waiting for a very long time, especially for two particular figures. Now, I've already posted 2 episodes of Lightning Storm in the past week, which is kind of crazy. One this past Tuesday when In Space Silver went up on the Walgreens website, which I'll be giving some updates to, and one on Wednesday about the Selfie series. Now, there's really nothing else to talk about with the Selfie series other than its official announcement this past Wednesday, so if you guys are looking for any of the information about that, be sure to check out that episode of Lightning Storm, but we still have a lot to talk about here today, so let's go ahead and get right on into it. So first up for this week, we're going to talk about In Space Silver. So this figure that has still never been announced, which is crazy to me due to the fact that it is officially out in the US now, did ship out and did arrive from Walgreens. So a couple of days ago, I talked about how it was available finally out of absolutely nowhere on the Walgreens website, listed as Dino Thunder Silver, which does not exist, with a product description for Dino Thunder Blue, but the figure did ship correctly. It actually was In Space Silver, it actually was Zane. So even though that was a really weird situation, it definitely resulted in a lot of really funny memes and edits and jokes on Twitter, which I absolutely enjoyed. So huge shout out to the fandom on that one. That was a really fun thing to poke fun at. But yeah, that figure did ship out and it was correct. Unfortunately, by the end of the day Tuesday, the fandom definitely made a quick work of that listing and it has been sold out since Tuesday. So unfortunately, as of right now, at the time of this recording, it is still out of stock on the Walgreens website, but I will leave the link to it in the description below because it could come back at some point. Hopefully it will. Hopefully this wasn't just a one and done for Zane. I have seen other Walgreens exclusives for like Marvel Legends. I think they had like that Quasar. I think they had the Binary figure, something like that as well, that has popped up a couple of times on the Walgreens website. So this is probably not your last chance to get Zane, but just keep an eye on the link and I'll keep an eye on it as well. If I ever see it go back up in stock again, I will be tweeting it out on Twitter, so be sure to check that if you are looking for Zane to complete your team. Next up for the week, sticking with figures that have not been announced, kind of, Wild Force Blue. So of course you know we have to talk about Wave 12 again. So until Wave 12 is officially announced, we're probably going to have something to talk about for it nearly every single week. But Wild Force Blue, we have some new pictures that are available on Twitter from Monet AYY, the same person that's posted all those really nice Dino Thunder Yellow photos a couple of weeks ago. So they have some brand new pictures for us for Wild Force Blue, very similar to the ones we got for Dino Thunder Yellow the past week. Super in-depth pictures, pretty much every view of Max you could possibly want. But the reason why I'm bringing him up again is because as of right now, he's actually available on AliExpress. Now, I have not used this store on AliExpress. I don't know how reliable it is, but I have since seen some people actually go ahead and bite the bullet and order from this. It is relatively expensive. I mean, I think it's free shipping, so I guess there's that, but it's like $43, $40 with this coupon for Wild Force Blue from China if you want to go that route. It says it will arrive in like early August, and maybe by that point we'll actually have the figure up for pre-order, which would kind of be ridiculous if they actually make it go up for pre-order and not just in stock, because clearly this figure in this wave has been manufactured for a bit, but we still don't know what's going on with it. So if you do want to take your chances and just absolutely secure a Wild Force Blue right now, you can, or you can just wait. Same thing with Metallic White. This one has not been announced by Hasbro, just like In Space Silver never has been, but this one is now available on angelgrovecollectables in Australia. Pretty hefty price tag for both people in Australia and of course if you're trying to ship it internationally, but they do ship internationally, so that is an option. So down in the description below will be the link for Wild Force Blue from AliExpress and for Metallic White from Angel Grove Collectables. If you're tired of waiting and you just want to get these figures secured, I don't blame you, but also you could just wait and save some money. But that is an option. That is an option. This next story, I cannot believe has actually happened. Like, legitimately. I still can't actually believe that it happened. I thought this was going to be a story for my great-great-grandchildren to tell on Lightning Storm episode like 3512. But this one is the Tyrannosaurus Sentry. It's out. It exists. It's here. So it's actually out in Target stores, which is mind-blowing. So this figure that took 460 days from its original pre-order date of April 9th, 2021, has finally started to be found in a couple of different Targets around the country. It has still not shipped out its pre-orders yet, so I know some people were saying that they're, obviously still waiting. So this 460 days thing is probably more days because you're actually waiting for your online pre-orders to ship. But people have been finding them in stores, which means they are released in the US, at least in some capacity. Somebody legitimately found it at a Target. At least there's that, right? But I cannot believe that this figure is actually out. That picture we had a couple weeks ago that was sent from a Target source that I don't actually know where exactly it came from had listed the Tyrannosaurus Sentry as appearing to be arriving in stock on July 13th. And that actually held true. That actually did happen. It arrived on July 13th to certain Targets in, I think it was Nebraska, and some of them were found in Illinois and Kansas, so kind of the Midwest area of the United States. But, regardless, it's here. So I will put the PopFindr link in the description below where you can kind of try to search your Targets and see if they have it. Sometimes that's reliable, sometimes it isn't, but they might have it in the back. And if they do have it in the back and you have to ask an employee to get it for you, please be respectful for it or they won't want to help you get this highly sought after figure that we thought we would have to wait 80 years for after that price or after that date era that made it say 2099. And with how long it took, we really were starting to think of maybe that was going to be legitimate. But I guess, hey, the wait is finally over. There was a lot of news for roleplay items in the Lightning Collection this past week because we had a lot of releases and a lot of about to be released. So we talked about last week Hasbro Pulse UK sending out emails saying that the Lord Draken helmet was shipping out, and that did arrive. I believe it was actually last Saturday when I posted the last main episode of Lightning Storm, or kind of the full episode of Lightning Storm. We actually got to see some in-hand photos of the Lord Draken helmet, so we got to see that there's kind of a sort of like how the Z1 had where you had to put the little crest on the top. You actually can take that piece off, and that's where the battery compartment is for the Lord Draken helmet, because it has essentially the exact same voice changer that was present on the Z helmet. I really don't notice much of a difference whatsoever, but the Z helmet had the battery compartment in the back, and the Draken one has it on the top. So very similar things there. I believe that they both take I think it was three AA's if I remember correctly. There is a review of this helmet out right now from Lightning Collector 2021 on YouTube, which I'll be leaving in the description below if you guys would like to check that out. And overall, it looks pretty good. It looks like it's probably around the same size as the White Ranger helmet and stuff like that, and the Red Ranger helmet. So if you had some issues or some worries about it not fitting after the Pink Ranger helmet and Blue Ranger helmets being a little smaller, you might be able to actually fit this one, hopefully, especially for its very increased price tag. But also, speaking of other roleplay items, the Lightning Collection weapons have finally started to be released this past week in both the US and about to be released in the UK. So Entertainment Earth started shipping out to the Power Lance earlier this week, and then Big Bad Toy Store followed suit with not only the Power Lance, but also the Blue Ranger helmet. Now, I haven't seen anybody actually get the Blue Ranger helmet from Big Bad Toy Store just yet, but it actually is listed as in stock right now, so that will also be in the description below. Lots of links in the description below this past week. There's a lot of stuff. But the Power Lance actually did start shipping and actually did start arriving for people. So we actually have some videos of it in action from Facebook users and such like that to kind of show off, it on its stand and how big it is. I think they measured it was 50 something inches when it was fully extended, which is pretty cool that it's actually that big of a Power Lance weapon when you combine the two pieces together. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. It definitely looks very cheap for how much it actually is, but I kind of expected that based off of the promo shots and everything like that. Now, the Power Lance did get an updated release date in Hasbro Pulse UK, with it being updated to July 28th for the Lance, but the Power Sword is now listed for a July 20th release from Hasbro Pulse UK, so probably by the time of next week's episode of Lightning Storm, we'll probably start seeing the Power Sword in hand, so we'll have both the weapons. And by the time that happens, the only other thing that'll be left for them to actually release that has actually been announced would be the Zap Megazord, which I believe is still slated for an end of July release from the UK, or certain retailers from the UK are expecting it by then. So by the time that happens, we'll be fully caught up on everything released that's been revealed, which means could we get some new reveals? It'd be nice. I know a lot of people are also enjoying this lull period of not having to spend a ton of money on Lightning Collection stuff, even though these big, expensive, heavy-hitting items are coming out right now. But we are definitely still in kind of a lull period, but things are coming out, things are slowly starting to move. And of course, everybody was waiting for San Diego Comic-Con for our, big Lightning Collection reveal panel of the year. And it definitely got announced, right? Totally happening, right? Right? No. So we got the full Comic-Con schedule last weekend. there is no Power Rangers product panel at San Diego Comic-Con 2022. There's one for Transformers, there's one for Star Wars, there's one for Marvel, and there's one for G.I. Joe, and nothing for Power Rangers. The only official Power Rangers panel that there's going to be, and it will still be an exciting one, just probably not for product news, is the Boom Studios panel that's happening next week, which will be pretty exciting because they're building towards their 100th issue milestone, and they're probably going to finally reveal who's taking up the book afterward, because we know that Matt and Ryan are both leaving the book, so we need a new writer to, continue the comics. But there's probably not going to be any product reveals there, but that's the only, I guess Hasbro officially sponsored panel. There's an actor panel on Sunday, but that's not officially moderated or sponsored by Hasbro in any way that we know of. So unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to get any Lightning Collection announcements within the next week at San Diego Comic-Con, which is very concerning. Everybody was kind of assuming that was going to be kind of their big event, because we already know that Hasbro's not attending Power Morphicon in person. They're just sending over production materials or presentation materials. So it's possible we'll get some kind of announcements in August. I certainly hope so. We are far overdue on the Wave 12 announcements, Dragonzord pre-orders, Deluxe Wave 2 needs to be announced soon. We still have the Tenga 2-pack leaked, and our listing leaked and everything like that. So there's a lot to talk about. And of course, I have to mention it because people would ask me why I didn't mention it, and people have been asking me all week about it. The rumors of the Lightning Collection ending. Basically, there was this Twitter account this past week that is locked now, and it was deactivated for a couple of days. The account's back, and now it's locked, so I can't even show you the tweet or the account name. But this account basically tweeted out that the Lightning Collection was ending after Wave 13. Wave 14 was probably not going to happen, or maybe we'd actually get Wave 14, and then the line would either just be fully canceled or just fully be Mighty Morphin forever. And to be honest, I can't fully debunk these rumors, I guess, if you can call it that. But I also most certainly cannot endorse them in any way. So, I've heard certain things that I can't talk about yet, that I'm still trying to vet are legitimate about the future of the Lightning Collection. And from what I've heard, I don't think there's any reason to believe the Lightning Collection is going anywhere. I think that there could be a big Mighty Morphin push, even more than there already is in 2023, for the 30th anniversary of the franchise, but I feel like that would be something you would expect to happen. So I don't know who this person is. I don't know if they even have any kind of reliable sources. Maybe they do. I'm not trying to dogpile them or anything like that. It just, I find what they said very hard to believe, and then the fact that they deactivated their Twitter and disappeared for a couple of days kind of just made it seem like they wanted to show up on Twitter, cause some chaos, and leave. But I've been asked about this numerous times this past week, understandably so. And I'm not the end-all be-all Lightning Collection source. There are other people out there in the history of this show that have found Lightning Collection listings, that have found information about the line that didn't come from me, and I've just reported on it. So I got to talk about it in at least a small little capacity. But I don't think there's any merit to them, or there could be. We'll just have to wait and see what actually happens with that. But that's kind of the biggest thing here, is that it all connects back to them not having a panel at Comic-Con. We are in a very big lull of announcements right now, and I don't know if they're trying to actually take fan criticism to heart and actually trying to improve things after the absolutely abysmal Fan First Tuesday we had on April 12th this past year, which we have not had a live stream event since then. It's now been over 3 months since our last live stream event. It has now been basically 2 months since our last reveal. Our last reveal was May 19th, 2022. I guess technically the Selfie series is one this past week, but that doesn't necessarily count. So regular, typical Lightning Collection announcements haven't happened for over 2 months. And when you give us this lull period of announcements, which we're not entitled or we're not owned to anything from Hasbro to actually announce stuff, but when they don't have any kind of official communication and they just tweet out things about sandwiches for some reason and clocks saying it's morphine time, and when you don't make any kind of official announcements or anything like that, you just leave this silence where people can just say stuff and people will listen to anything regardless if it's true or not. Now, that's always a problem, and I think that's a really big thing that's happening right now for the Lightning Collection that I really wish Hasbro would finally get in front of and announce more stuff and give us more actual convincing information that the line isn't just going to be completely killed next year. It could be, it might not be. But like I said, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, but I wanted to address it in some capacity because I knew people were going to ask me about it even more. So here you go. And before I go this week, I do want to give a Lightning Strike of the Week shout out to the new Guinness Book of World Records record holder for the most or the biggest Power Rangers collection in the world, belonging to Michael Nielsen from the US, with a big collection of 9,364 items of Power Rangers merchandise, which is just awesome. There's photos of this guy's collection on this article and everything, which I will also be putting in the description below. Please check out the links today. There's a lot of them down there. But his collection is absolutely impressive. Of course, there's some Lightning collection in there, so kudos to you. You know what you're doing. You're picking up the good stuff. But honestly, like, his collection looks absolutely incredible, and I am very jealous of it. And I love seeing stuff like this. Like, that is what I inspire, or that's what I aspire to have for, like, a future house. You know, I'm only 21 years old, so I don't have, like, my own house or anything yet. But someday, when I do, that's what I want it to look like, this guy's collection right here. So huge shout out to you, Michael, and congratulations on being the biggest Power Rangers collector in the world. And that's everything we have to talk about for this week. Of course, until next time, I'd love to hear about everything I talk about down in the comments below, your thoughts on anything I discussed. And of course, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LightningFigPR. And I'll see you all in Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice.